What's up, and welcome to the Indiecredible Podcast, episode 3. This episode, we're going to be going through an indie game that gets a release date that we're excited for. The Switch gets another great indie game. Xbox finally announces when Game Pass is available, or the fact that it's available now for some people. Some of our predictions for E3, and then going through some exciting changes for the site. With me, as always, is
Dan from the Dice Bear.
Dan from the Dice Bear. If you don't know what a Dice Bear is, guys, head over and check it out. It's just a very good nerdverse where I'm a little bit envious that you can just...
I talk about whatever the hell I want when I want to talk about it, yeah.
I love talking about gaming, but sometimes I like to have a rant, just talk about other shit.
Or even before we started this recording, we had a good 10-15 minute chat just about movies. So, yes. I mean, that's what I like about it. I can do what I want.
Yes, and you release a weekly video.
Recap video. YouTube video where I just recap what's happened on.
And it's narrated by a puppet tiger?
Yeah, because I couldn't find a bear. So I just did it with a tiger.
If you squint, it's kind of a bear.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Squint, cool. And it's fine. So getting into it. Just a quick thing, guys. A quick apologies. We didn't bring an episode last week.
No, it was my fault.
Well, we were very busy. I think everyone will agree in the gaming industry, Q1 and Q2 have just been bonkers. Just so much on at the moment.
Yeah.
We couldn't physically find an hour. Well, it's not only the hour and then the 2 hours editing afterwards. That slot to possibly do one. So apologies to anyone who is cursing the fact that we didn't bring an episode, but we're back. We're here. And also apologies if you get the podcast through iTunes. For some reason, iTunes isn't updating it for me. It says I've verified everything. I have no idea. At the moment, we're on YouTube. We're on the website. And we're on SoundCloud. Fingers crossed by next week, iTunes will be sorted and we'll all be updated on there. Enough of that said. Absolver. I'm just going to go straight in there.
Straight into it.
Absolver. I first got wind of this game about EGX time last year, September time last year. Absolver is very similar to For Honor, is probably the best way to describe it, in terms of it's an action-based melee game with a huge multiplayer aspect. And that's really all we know about the game.
Yeah, it's another fighting game where you pick kind of like your tactical stance or how you're going to move and attack different things, and you can fight other players or you can fight environmental ones. I haven't actually played For Honor, but I'm guessing
For Honor's like a very good version of Dynasty Warriors. I don't mean any disrespect there. Dynasty Warriors is a case of, right, how many fucking enemies can we get on the screen at once? Whereas For Honor's a bit more of a kind of, what do you want to call it, like a refined approach to that. It's a case of like, we're not going to throw all these enemies at you, and you play through the levels or the online, taking on a little bit like Titanfall. You take on NPCs, but then also you take on
players who are
actively. And I don't know how that's going to fit in with Absolver, but I do know it is a case of, it's an action game where you free move, but then when the fighting sequences, like you said, come down to your stance, your fighting style, combinations to fight effectively. And we've got a release date. It's the 29th of August on PS4. Sorry, Xbox One players, but it is not coming to Xbox One at the moment. It's PC and PS4 only on the 29th of August. And I'm really excited.
I am as well. This is one of the ones. I really like the art style to this. There is something about the fact they wear these masks.
Yes.
So they don't have facial features in it.
No.
They just have these masks on it. And I find that quite creepy, but I also think it's perfect for the fighting game. There was the only thing I can ever relate it to is, do you remember the Court of Owls in Batman?
Yes, exactly.
It's exactly like that. And I was like, oh my God, this is like playing as the Court of Owls. This is going to be amazing.
Well, I ran a feature last week on it on the website, and they released a press release of 3 different fighting styles they've confirmed so far.
Right.
Effectively, I can't remember the actual names for them, but effectively you have a tank, you have a kind of a quick, agile fighting style, and a kind of balanced one. But one thing I was really interested to hear is other fighting styles are available, but you have to find them by exploring the world. And you find them by learning them. You explore the world, and you'll learn one part of this new fighting style, but you can't use the overall fighting style until you've mastered all the elements of that fighting style.
That's fantastic.
So I think that's absolutely brilliant. And they have not confirmed how many fighting styles are, but they have said there is an abundance hidden out there in the world, and some people will take a long time to find all of them. So it just looks like a very refined, very polished game. For Honor, a lot of people slept on For Honor. I think it come out in the height of, you had Resi 7 around, you had Zelda was not far off, the Switch was launching similar time there. You had so much around it.
With it as well, especially with the connectivity and how players...
60 quid, 50, 60 quid game. Absolver hasn't got a price point at the moment. It's from Devolver Digital, which are not, absolutely smashing out of the park at the moment.
Loving their stuff. Everything they're putting out at the moment.
Devolver
is
Digital
amazing.
rarely stick a game out more than 30 quid.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a 24, 25 quid game. I'm jumping on it straight away when it comes out, which is the 29th of August. August.
End of summer game.
It is in the summer game. And that's Slowcap. Slowcap are developing it, Devolver Digital publishing it. And that takes us on to... Well, it doesn't really take us on to it at all. That was a really shit segue.
What have been linked? Here's our segues.
Yeah, I figured if you highlight it's a shit segue, it makes a good segue.
You know what? That's probably right. How to do a segue?
Yeah.
Say you're doing a segue.
Switch owners, please do not sleep on this game that I am going to talk about now. Thumper. Thumper is now on the Switch. Have you played Thumper?
No, sorry. When you say Thumper, all I can think of is
not
the
a-
rabbit from Bambi.
No rabbits.
And you've been
are
getting
involved.
excited about Thumper for a while, and it's
And
like,
you cannot be further from that. Do you know anything about Thumper?
not a thing.
So originally it was a PS4, a PSVR game, and released as a launch window game for PSVR.
All right.
I've never played it in VR, and I'm going to be honest, I don't want to fucking play this game in VR. It would not scare me. It would just, I struggle to breathe playing it on the Nintendo Switch in handheld mode. It's that tense.
Right.
In VR, I think I'd have a heart attack early. It's I played it on the PS4. I enjoyed it on the PS4, but again, it was the end of year. It came out on the PS4 towards the end of last year when there was so much going on, and I played for it a little bit. I didn't have time. Now it's on the Switch. I can just pick up and play where I want. Thumper is a rhythm game. It's a very dark psychedelic rhythm game where you control like a metallic beetle. Now, if you use the A button on the Switch and steer into the corners, it's all about hitting the corners right with this really industrialized metallic music pumping in the background.
Right.
The levels can take like up to 15 minutes to complete. I'm scared I'm going to snap the Switch in half. I'm gripping it that tight as I'm playing through these. And these bosses will come down, these kind of tentacled skull bosses will come down, and by jumping across to a certain rail at a certain time and hitting that point, sends off like a missile to hit them.
Yeah.
If you take a corner at the wrong time, like a layer of skin rips off your beetle. And it's just like a horrible animation. You're like, fuck, I'm going to kill this poor beetle. And when you die, it's just a horrible mess of an explosion of a game. And it's just, I've not played a game as tense as this, I think, for a long time. It is brilliant. It's more, I find Thumper more tense than some horror games I've played. Yeah, it's incredible. If you have a Switch, $16.99 at the moment, do not sleep on this game. It is absolutely brilliant, and it is seriously challenging to finish. Anyone finish it, kudos to you. I cannot get past the third or fourth track. It's so...
Do you know how many tracks there are?
No, I've not unlocked them all. But it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. $16.99. Switch players...
That's cheap for a Switch game.
Yeah, well, Switch players, I mean, they're getting something each week. I mean, Street Fighter releases later on this week. Maybe not about that. I'm not too sure yet. But, I mean, other than this, there's not much coming out in the future. This will be a game that you'll guaranteed go back to. And if you're a fan and you don't have a heart condition, then Thumper's one that I definitely recommend.
Love games that come with a health warning.
Honestly, I can't. I've never been so sweaty. I said to my friend, I think it's I don't know what it is. Playing Thumper gives me I feel like playing it in handheld mode gives me cramp. And he's like, oh no, I get that as well. It's because you're gripping. So, and I thought about it and I was like, yeah,
You're so tense.
I've played Zelda before, like 4 hours in a row, and I've not once noticed it.
Yeah.
Thumper, 20 minutes, my hand is like cramping up afterwards. I'm like, one last time, really, I cannot recommend Thumper enough on the Switch. I'm amazed it's on the Switch. And done a really good job, actually, of taking the VR ports. They've moved the camera out further so you can see more of the screen. It runs at 60 frames per second on the dock mode, 30 frames per second in handheld mode. It's 1080p across the board.
Do you find that affects you much between the two if you're playing it? I do notice it because with this kind of rhythm game, it's very slick and very fast. Yeah.
I don't notice any frame rate issues at all. It just feels in handheld mode. Some sequences almost feel a little oddly sluggish.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not teched up enough to say whether that is down to
the frame
rating or what. But when I've played it on the screen, I've never felt that, and it looks seriously crisp on the screen. And the joy is you can just go boom, straight in and out.
Yeah.
In and out. That's what we all like.
That's your motto.
Yes. So, something you do know about Xbox.
Xbox.
Do you remember what we spoke about a couple of weeks ago about Xbox?
Yes, we talked about the announcement by Phil Spencer and the Game Pass and how he was all nipple erectus about the thing.
The Netflix, I can't say streaming because it's not streaming, but a Netflix downloading style subscription gaming service.
Yeah.
Which, I'll be honest, I thought was going to be announced in its entirety at E3 and release. And I honestly thought they'd come on the stage at E3 and say, yep, you can play it now.
But you know why they did it the other way around?
Go for it.
Well, you know what was supposed to be announced at E3?
You're going to say Scorpio?
Supposed to be announcing Halo 6 and showing bits of Halo 6.
I've heard rumours of this.
Which is why they wanted this to come out early, because of course, what's the major title that they're showing off with the Game Pass?
Halo 5.
Halo 5. You get people excited about Halo 5, you give it to them in incredibly cheap.
Yeah.
And considering all the maps you get, Halo 5 is brilliant, by the way.
And that's to point out with this, actually, which has caused a bit of an uproar. DLC content that is online for a game that's featured in the Game Pass comes with the Game Pass. So people will go and spend 30 quid on a season pass for a game. All that content is available in the Game Pass.
Really?
Yes.
That's just changed my mind about Game Passes.
Yes. So because you don't own the game. They give you, the idea is you're renting the game.
Yeah, it's a rental.
And it's a case of nothing's locked behind a paywall, because you can't buy a DLC for a game that you don't own. So everything's included. And the idea is that if you're playing on, I'm going to use Battlefront here. Battlefront's not on there yet, just to clarify.
Yeah.
But if I can imagine Battlefront well, it probably won't actually, because it's EA, and EA have got their
own
play thing.
Yeah.
But let's say Battlefront was on there, for example. They can't have some of the people playing on, or a few maps that's not that well populated, when the other modes and bigger maps are a lot more populated. They're going to want you to have the full experience, aren't they? That's the idea.
I thought the idea behind it was that they give you this free bit.
Okay.
So like you'd get the first bit of Battlefront.
Yeah.
And then the way EA, let's make it clear again, Battlefront is not on there, right? EA would make money by you purchasing DLC afterwards.
Well, I know for a fact that Halo 5, the DLC content is included.
Most of Halo 5 DLC's been free.
Yeah. Other big AAA noticeable games on there is you have Gears of War 1, 2 and 3.
Yeah, again, another Microsoft title.
And Judgment. I've never played Judgment. I slept on that one.
I've never played Judgment.
There's a few big games on there. I went through it last night. You get a 14-day free trial. Oh, I've completely skipped the actual news part.
Go for it.
So the Xbox Live Pass is alive now.
Yeah.
For gold members.
Yeah.
If you're a non-gold member, you have to wait until the 1st of June. Now, so you can, and this surprises me, you don't have to buy into the gold membership of the 60 quid a year. You can just pay the £10 a month and get these games. Obviously, you won't have access to the competitive online elements of games, because you need Xbox Gold for that. So yeah, it's live now for anyone who is a gold member. I scrolled through last night. There's 100 games on it now. There are a combination of Xbox One and Xbox 360 games. Probably about 60% Xbox One, 40% 360 games. There was some shit on there I'd never even heard of in a million years. There was some Kinect shit on there as well, which I was like, really?
That's for all us fools who bought the Xbox One on day one and have our Kinect just sitting there. Mine's acting as a tie rack right now. That's how useful the Kinect has been.
But yeah, so I scrolled through last night and I've come up with 6 indie games that I think are must plays. If you're you got 2 weeks free, I recommend jumping on it now. Yeah. Obviously, if you want to go jump on Halo, you can go see what Halo. If you slept on Halo, go jump on Halo. Like, give it a game online.
Especially
that
if
game
you've got gold.
Yeah, that game online is brilliant. I've just never committed enough time to it. Anyway, the notable indie games I come across, we had Brothers, which is a really nice single player, but you control 2 brothers through this narrative adventure. It's emotionally hitting. It's very nice. You played Brothers?
I played Brothers. Yeah, it's a good game.
Lumo, which is isometric kind of puzzler.
That's the one that was recently given away on PlayStation 4 for the Vita. Yeah,
that's the one. Ollie Ollie. Have you played Ollie Ollie?
Yeah.
I loved Ollie Ollie.
That's one of those games that is... you can't go, oh, look at the graphics or anything like that, but 2 hours, 3 hours later, you're still playing the game, and you're like, I'm addicted.
It's like a high score skateboarding, platforming, speed running game. It's brilliant fun. Shanty and the Pirate Curse is a really nice 2.5D platforming. You play as Shanti. She's got a kind of series of games out. She uses her hair to kill enemies and whips it and all that. And
okay,
it's pretty.
She's
not a
Willow
nice little.
Smith.
Yeah, it's a nice little platforming game. The Swapper. Did you play the Swapper?
No, I don't know the Swapper.
The Swapper is this very atmospheric kind of side-scrolling puzzle game where you play as this astronaut guy in this kind of horror setting, and you have to the ability to pick up elements. You have to swap them around the environment, and it's very haunting setting. It's a really good game. It's not very long. I think I played through about 4 hours.
Yeah.
It came out early last year, I want to say. It didn't get a lot of press. It didn't get a lot of push. But it's a very good fun game to play. And then the must play if you are getting this Xbox Game Pass and you've not played this game is you have to play Braid. It is old. It's a 360 game. It's one of the first indie games to
break the million.
Break the million and burst onto the console scene.
Yeah.
And it still is. It features mechanics, like the rewind mechanic or the...
Yeah, as you walk backwards and forwards, it changes time.
Is just...
So you reverse and play and...
It's game changing. So many games use that mechanic now.
Yeah.
But it came originally from this little indie game called Braid. And if you're a fan of Soulja Boy, have you ever seen that Soulja Boy video? Have you ever seen it?
I'm not a fan of Soulja Boy.
Have you ever seen the Soulja Boy video?
Yeah.
Go on YouTube and check out Soulja Boy Braid. You go backwards and forwards. What the fuck is going on, man? Yeah, Soulja Boy. But yeah, no, Xbox Game Pass. It's live now. 14 days free, and then you get £10 a month after that, and 100 games a month. They're going to update it every month, but no more than 2 or 3 games each month.
Yeah. I've got to say, when we first talked about it, and it would be in the last podcast, I was incredibly negative about the whole thing. And I'm still really negative about the Xbox and its use of downloads and the size of patches and that. I still think that's a massive issue for Xbox. But as a dad, this is the best thing ever for a kid.
Oh,
if I'm only paying £10 a month and they can have all these different games.
There are some high caliber games on there.
Yeah.
And you earn trophies off them. If that's the thing, people, you do earn the trophies off them. And they download to your... That's the only slight issue. It could be seen as an issue or a strength. They do download to your console. So something like Halo is a 60 gigabyte game.
Yeah.
Such. It runs very smoothly because it's on your hard drive, but
You've got that 60 gig to download.
You can't say, I'm going to download all these games. But you can flag them. So I've gone through and it's done exactly what I was hoping it would do. There's 4 or 5 games I've never heard of. And I've been like, I'm going to give that a go. So I flagged it. So at some point weekend when I've got nothing to play, the rare occasion I want nothing
when
to
does
play,
that happen?
I might go, quick, I'm going to jump on Game Pass and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to stick with it for now. But yeah, it is live for
£10 a month.
£10 a month. Gold members live now. If you're not a gold member, then
Wait
1st
2
of June,
weeks.
and you can have it without the gold membership, but you can't play online. I honestly thought that was going to come at E3. Genuinely amazed they've released it this early. I mean, E3 is only 3 weeks away.
Yeah, as I said, I'm not shocked by that because I knew that they were planning on doing Halo 6. It's now been announced that Halo 6 is not being shown at E3.
I'm genuinely concerned for Microsoft at E3. They've got Scorpio, and we're going to go on.
Yeah.
Well, we'll move on to this now. E3 is only three weeks away, and they have Scorpio, but you could have the best, most powerful console in the world. It will not sell if you do not have the games to make it look good.
And this is where Xbox have fallen apart from day one.
Well, look at the Wii U. Exactly the same happened
Yeah.
to Wii U. We're going to release the Wii U. What is it? We don't really know.
Yeah,
It's a portable game that you can play 3 meters away from your TV.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo had a massive problem with the fact that they called it the Wii U, so no one knew that it was actually a new console.
No.
They should have given it a different name. But Xbox went wrong with the fact that they didn't understand the market they were going to. You know, they decided that the Xbox One was a multimedia machine. It was going to take the console, and they so concentrated on the whole bullshit of I'm going to run my TV through it. Like hell, am I going to run my TV through it? And they just gave us crap, and then they didn't give us the games. It wasn't there.
Not at first. I saying that I played Rise recently, the launch game, the Roman.
Oh, the Roman one. Yeah, that was alright.
That was on Gold, and I can see what people were saying. There was some weird. Well, there was parts where it said, "Do you have a Kinect?" I was like, "No." So it was obviously parts integrated for connecting it.
Yeah, I used those.
They
they didn't work.
But I actually really enjoyed the end of the game. It was really good. I actually played for that, and I quite enjoyed that. And
It's
I was
a
like,
nice little graphics demo.
Oh, it's very
That's
it's
what it was.
incredible. Yeah, it was a extended tech demo.
Yeah.
Of this is what our new console can do. But you're right. I mean, Sony was kudos to Sony for coming out of the gates and going, well, our tagline is for the players,
Yeah.
and they literally
And then that is what
smashed
they
it from
did.
day one. Yeah, we're for the players. Do you want Netflix? You can have Netflix. Do you want to be able to stream through it? No, fuck that.
The other bit I'm going to rant on about the hard drive and downloading to the hard drive as well was, so I play a lot of Smite.
Yeah.
On the Xbox, anytime there was an update for a Smite,
remember you
it
saying.
was fecking
And
massive.
your internet here
My
is
internet here is
shite.
awful. So I'm having to wait like a day
Yeah.
for these patches to come down. That's how bad my internet is. Whereas on the PS4, I'm playing it.
Not an
No,
issue.
they're a quarter of the size of the patches. Yeah, I'm getting all the same stuff, and that wasn't just Smite. It did it to. It did it to
Yeah, I have
every
noticed
single
this.
game I played.
I have,
and
and there's a
drove
lot
me
of
batty.
there's a lot of updates. So I've noticed it with various games. Titanfall, I still play quite a lot of them on Xbox One. I go to jump on. I go, oh, I fancy a quick game of Titanfall. I jump on update, and I'm like,
Update, yeah.
oh god. So yeah, E3. I thought it'd be nice if we went through a couple of our predictions, and we can maybe have a little.
What do you mean predictions?
Okay, so we're gonna go with like a. No, not predictions. Our hopes.
Our hopes for
hopes,
E3. Yeah, I like that one.
Our hopes. So we're gonna stick with it being an indie game podcast. It will be stupid not to have an indie game prediction, but an indie game prediction for, or not prediction. I keep saying prediction.
You like the word?
I do. Yeah, it's to peep. The indie game hope.
Hope, yeah.
For E3, and then one general gaming one, because it is the biggest gaming event, and it's not necessarily one for the indies, but they will guaranteed be there.
Yeah.
Do you want to start? Shall I start?
Okay.
Or do you want to go? Who do you
Oh,
wanna
well, I'll go with it because
Go for it.
the hope I have, and it's an indie game hope,
Yeah.
and it's that Friday the 13th is everything we want it to be.
It's out. You know, it's out tomorrow.
On,
All consoles.
you're shitting me. I didn't
Right.
know that.
It's out tomorrow.
Okay, well, I hope tomorrow that Friday the 13th.
It is out tomorrow. I'm not even
Oh
kidding
my
you.
God.
I was meant to ask you because I was going to say, do you want a game tomorrow night? Because I'm like, I've my mind's set up to download tomorrow morning.
That I missed the whole
29th.
run up to that. I thought
Yeah.
we were going to get an
No, I
announcement
did-
at E3,
yeah, no, so
and then
I-
it was going to be soon after
So
that.
I
'Cause
honestly-
everything had been talking about the fact that they'd been hoping for it to be ready, and they weren't too sure.
So I was completely gobsmacked as well. I was doing my weekly release videos at the weekend.
Yeah.
And I was going down, going, oh, yeah. And I was like, huh? Friday the 3rd? Really? 29th? No. Checked it. Oh, yeah. It's on PS4, 29th of May. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yep. I don't know the pricing for it, I'm afraid. But it's, it's... I don't even know loads about the game, apart from it's fucking Friday the 13th. It's
You know
developed
what we
by
should do?
Illfusion.
Yes, yeah, it
It
is.
is
Sorry, your
Illfusion.
face there was
Yeah.
amazing.
I was trying to think then.
Illfusion.
Is it Illfusion? Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It's Illfusion, which are independent developers.
Yeah.
So although it is a massive cult horror franchise, it is an indie game.
Well, this is one that you showed me a while ago, and I was like, well, with it coming out then,
I could kind of give you another little hope, and
Go
that's
on.
the fact that the Illfusion developers, who are makers of Friday the 13th, are making a new game, which I think you saw today on Twitter that I shared,
oh yeah, the zombie one.
called Dead Alliance, and it is a 4-person tactical team FPS game where you can use mods to basically turn zombie members into team members. Zombies into team members. So you use
Right.
mods to take over the neurological workings of a zombie and go attack that person there. So when you're playing on the opposing team, you're not only looking out for 4 human players to play against, they could be sending zombies your way as well. And
Nice.
these zombies they're mods that like super soldier zombies. So you have one zombie who can like jump across the map. Or you have one that sends a pack of zombies that they're no extra health, but they're just coming at you. And one that can make a zombie drive a vehicle and that will try and run you over. Like, so there's all these. So yeah, that's the same developers. Maybe we'll see that at E3.
Maybe.
That could
well,
be-
then in another way, my big hope for E3
Yeah.
is that anyone who goes there spends time in the indie section.
Yeah.
Anyone who's going, don't just go and see the big titles. Don't just go and see your Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Assassin's Creed and all of that lot. Go to the indie section, because seriously, these are the games we need to be looking at.
Well, we were
Because-
talking about Devolver Digital earlier.
Yeah.
They've got their own, completely
Yeah.
own thing called the Indie Picnic, and it's in the car park.
just
of
across the road, isn't it? Yeah.
The Indie Picnic. So if you have a wristband for E3, you're entitled in, completely free. It's all included. So you can go in there, and Devolver Digital have got some seriously good games at the moment. And I guarantee you now, the queues for those games will be fractions compared to the queues for the top games. So my indie game hope is that we see the next title from that video game company. Brought us Flower on the PS3, Journey, PS3/PS4.
Yeah.
And it did make me laugh. Do you remember when Rockstar were doing the Red Dead tease and they were teasing the logo in different colours? They just
Yeah.
So really teased that, and it got retweeted.
Oh, it was huge, wasn't it?
So that video game company done a very similar tactic. They released these kind of sky blue pictures with white outlines of character shapes.
Right.
And they were getting decent retweets for an indie company, but it did make me laugh. That side by side, they're completely contrasting development spectrums. But yeah, I'm hoping that we'll see that, because I think they have built themselves up the reputation now where even casual gamers, even the more casual gamer, it'd still be interested in what they're going to release.
What they're doing, yeah.
Journey was just an incredible game, and that's old. That's 6 years old now. So it's time for a new game to come, and they have teased it. They have said that the game is coming. That's my hope, that we get to see that video game companies, and I think prediction it will be on the Sony conference. Flower was a PlayStation game. Journey is a PlayStation game.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's still a PlayStation game. Yeah.
I think it will be, but I think it will get a spotlight, a 2-minute spotlight in the video, because amongst critics, that video game company are very well respected, and let's be honest, 90% of that audience watching that conference is critics. So that's what they're going to want the response from. So that's my indie game one. General gaming, going anything in the world of gaming. What do you really want to see? Be as curveball as you like.
So there are two really that get me. One obviously is Scorpio. The announcement of what it's going to be like. They're going to show it off.
What it looks like. I'd like to see what it looks like.
I'd like to see what it looks like. I'd like to see, official stats. They've got lots of bits out here about it being true 4K gaming, and 6 teraflops of GPU.
What the
Who gives a
fuck is a teraflop? Just show me it playing nice games.
What's even funnier is they're trying to sell us the idea that 1 terabyte of hard drive storage is good, and I'm sorry, now 1 terabyte is not enough.
Well,
we all know that. They gave us 500 gig on the Xbox, and that was barely enough to keep you going. Seriously, I feel like they're holding back on that part, which makes me worried. But we've got someone new running the whole Xbox bit now. From when Xbox One was released, I can't even remember the guy's name. I'd try and forget him. And we were promised all of this, and then the whole thing was just a mistake. Yeah. This is the chance for Xbox to completely rebrand, bring out a true next-gen console, and really go for it. And my hope is that they do that, and that they've actually listened. Yeah. And they actually... And that's a big hope.
I would love to see that. I like Phil Spencer, actually, as the head of Xbox. Every time I see him interview, or I hear him interview, I always think he sounds very passionate about gaming. Apparently, he does one of the most amount of gamings anyone does at Microsoft. He's a very avid gamer. I used to be I was never a vanilla Xbox player. I was always PS2.
Right.
But I did go across to 360, and the 360 dominated the PS3, and rightfully so. It was a brilliant console. They almost got too arrogant, thinking they owned the console space.
Yeah,
and they quite clearly been proven that they don't own that console space.
I think the market needs competition.
They need a game.
PlayStation don't have anyone to compete against at the moment.
Scorpio, they can come out and say it's this. And don't get me wrong, die-hard fans, maybe even some PC gamers who go, well, actually, that's a very convenient, high-spec console to have set up to my TV, may dabble. But realistically, the casual gamer is not going to go and buy that console unless they see their Call of Duty or their FIFA, Red Dead, running 10 times better than it looks like, or not 10 times, but a lot better than it looks on PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
That's when you'll get people going, because, the stats they've released for it, Digital Foundry, the website, have priced it together, and they're saying that this looks like at least a £500 machine.
Oh, yeah, easily.
If it comes at £500, people will buy it and they have to have it. They can't port, they can't go, oh yeah, here's Tomb Raider, but it's been upscaled for Scorpio. It's compatible with Scorpio and it looks better in... That's not what they need a game. I think Crackdown 3 will be
blows out
their
the water.
game. But they need, I say CODs and FIFAs, because that is the staple of any casual gamer's diet. FIFA sells unseen amounts every year. And people are, so people who have a lot of money, they go, yeah, I'll just buy the latest console because it makes FIFA look amazing. That's fine. If you've got the means to do that, brilliant. But that's what they need. They need something on their stage to say, this is Scorpio, it looks incredible, this is but here's what it really looks like.
Yeah.
When you're playing in 4K, when you're playing with all this backed up memory pumping it through. That's what they need to do.
Yeah. They need to put, and fingers crossed they do.
Yeah. It was nice to see that. It would be nice to see.
Yeah, because competition in the market is better for everyone.
Yeah. Especially the consumer.
Yeah. And that's what we need, because we don't have it at the moment. And that annoys me.
Is similar. Well, it's not really similar to yours. Mine is a Sony-based one.
Yeah.
And I really want to see, in the Sony conference, a dedicated, even if it's just 20, 30 minutes, a dedicated section to this is what the rest of this year and beginning of 2018 looks like for PSVR. We released this bit of kit, which is very good, very good experiences, but they're starting to get it right now with the games. Like, I've not played Farpoint, but all the reviews I'm seeing for Farpoint with the aim controller are very positive. Dick Wild, that I did play, what a name. Dick Wild, that I did play at EGX Rest, was ridiculously fun. And they're starting to get there now. And even if they just say, yeah, a game will come out once every 2-3 months, but it will be a game. We're talking 10, 12 hour game for you to play through. I just do not want them to do to PSVR what they done to Vita. When they released it, it was brilliant in its first year, and then they just went, nah, we're done.
That's all going to come down to how cost effective it is to make the games.
Yeah. Here you go. So that's my hope, my prediction.
Yeah.
We see new VR controllers for PlayStation at E3.
Okay.
The Move, I mean, you can't, there's only so long you go along with an 8-year-old controller. Like the Move controllers. And people are going, oh, you went to that because they've just released the aim gun with the light. Well, that's fine. That is not a Move controller in the gun. That is the gun.
Yeah.
But in terms of what 1, 2 or 3 games you use that for, I'm talking the Oculus Touch controls are incredible where you can turn them around. I want to see something like that. And yeah, okay, it might up the price. But if someone's already committed to spend 400, 500 quid on a PSVR camera and all that, are they going to spend another 150 quid getting the top range controllers? Probably, yeah. Like, if they're committing that much, they're going to go all in on it. That's what I want to see. A sustainable future for PSVR, and prediction is we do see some new controllers. Ooh.
My other one, the one other thing, my big hope, Star Wars Battlefront 2 isn't a pile of shit.
Have you not seen the trailer?
I'm sorry. Big fucking deal. I've seriously, I've had enough. It's like all these people masturbating over Call of Duty World of Warfare 2. Yes, thank God they brought it back to World War 2. Yes, it looks fucking fantastic. But you've got to remember, these are the same people who brought us Advanced Warfare multiplayer. Some of the biggest bags of shit I've ever played. Star Wars Battlefront 2. Whoa. Gorgeous game.
Advanced Warfare single player was very good.
Multiplayer sucked balls though.
Yeah.
And Star Wars Battlefront, what was the big problem? The multiplayer was boring. It was rubbish. The guns were crap.
Yeah, there was no diversity.
There was nothing there. It was a beautiful game. It was stunning sound-wise.
I still sunk 60 hours into that game, and that's not even got a single player on it.
Yeah, but man, you play games. The amount of things you sink a large amount of time into and then go, yeah, I wish I hadn't.
No, I don't. I do. Battlefront I enjoyed it. And yeah, fingers crossed it is.
Star Wars Battlefront
guaranteed to see more on it.
Was a beautiful disappointment. It was gorgeous, but it was wrong. And they got it. There was no single player. There was so much missing from it.
Yeah.
And Star Wars Battlefront 2, they can just keep the graphics. Keep the sound, but give us a game.
Cut and paste. That's game development.
Cut and paste. That's how you do it. Yeah. Asset flipping. You just there you go.
Command C, Command V,
all the way, and that's it.
Easy.
That's why we make computer games. Yeah. Oh, hang on, we don't.
Yeah, that's why I stick to writing about it. Okay, we've had some feedback.
Ooh.
An email coming from.
Is it good, or is this just people slating?
It's a really good question, actually.
Oh, okay.
And it got me thinking. So Chris from Bournemouth has emailed him. And his email says, I recently come out of a long-term relationship, and it's fair to say I wasn't in a very good place.
This isn't going to be a happy one, is it? This is a...
No. So after scouring the PSN store for a pick-me-up game, I found literally nothing. I then decided to search for the digital-only section, a place I'd never been, and found a game called Butcher. The gory is what it said.
Okay, cool.
The gory, fucking hard platformer.
Nice.
Really helped me take my mind off what was actually happening in my life and took me out of the emotional wreck that I was. If we were going for a breakup, or have we ever been for a breakup? If so, what game helped us through that, or what game would we recommend as a good breakup game, or helping you get through a breakup?
Help you get through a breakup.
No, I've been in this situation.
Who hasn't, mate?
No, when a game helped me genuinely.
Oh, okay.
When I was towards my end of university, I came out of a relationship with a girl, and
I like the fact that that one was a girl. Yeah, that time.
That one, I think.
We won't talk about the goat, but we'll keep on.
And Rocket League just hit on PS Plus. And I downloaded it, and no word of a lie, I don't think I left my uni house for about 2 weeks properly. I went to town here and there, but I didn't properly go out or do anything for about 2 weeks. And I must have been sinking in 8-9 hours a day in Rocket League. And Rocket League, it's just a game that was 10-minute game. Oh, I have another one. I have another one. I found it so addictive, and it completely took my mind off the fact that I was a blubbering wreck.
Yeah.
That waited until I went to bed, but no. For me, Rocket League, that's the only time I've ever been in that situation. I could think of others, really. I mean, the game he's talking about, Butcher, I've seen it, I've not played it, and it's pixelated, really hard, where the aim of the game is literally kill everything. Yeah. Maybe he was in that bad a place, he saw a tagline, kill everything. I'm fucking having some of that.
I think the biggest problem you have, especially when you break up from a long-term relationship and you're in, usually in that sort of thing, you can't understand why it went wrong. You don't know what you've done. You start blaming yourself for everything. So your whole emotions are all over the fucking shop. So finding a game that's going to fit that whole emotional range you're going through is very difficult. But the thing that I found best in those situations is finding something you could obsess about. So for you, it was Rocket League. So it would be this case of, right, I'm going to play. I can play again and again. It was very quick, which meant you never had time to really think, but you could obsess about how to move your characters. He's had Butcher, which is you're going to kill everything in the room and you've got to move, and it's a platform thing.
Imagine everything his ex. Fucking
die, bitch! I meant to put the toilet seat back down, you fucking... Or up, I don't even fucking know. But for me, it was... Yeah, that's how much I pay attention to that. For me, it was... this is how old I am compared to you. It was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. And it was about collecting absolutely everything. So I got to the point where it wasn't just about having everything, it was speed
Pro Skater 1 or 2?
Number 1.
Number 1? Videotapes.
Yeah, I had to get all the videotapes, all the letters, everything, the high scores, everything, and and I got it to a point because I was that obsessive about it, and it was about taking my mind off, where it wasn't just completing a level; it was speed running the entire game and collecting everything in a maximum of 2 runs for each level. Some of them I could do in 1 run, and that's what you were trying to do. And I got obsessive with it. I got really good as well. I suck now. I haven't played in years, but that's the kind of thing when you need for a relationship to break up, because you need something to obsess about, because otherwise you're just going to go to some fucking dark places.
Well, Tony Hawk Pro Skater kind of links into what I'd recommend if someone was to recommend. It's kind of what Chris is said. What would you recommend?
Yeah.
I'd say any open world game, any modern open world game, because you have side quests, you have collectibles, you have a world to explore. Just don't go near a dating sim.
Kitty Powers.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so lonely. Let's play Kitty Powers.
Stay away from dating sims. But no, I think any open world would be, because people say, FPSs now are so competitive and so tactical that going on there, if I go on there and I'm in a bad mood, that controller could end up anywhere.
Fucked. Yeah.
But an open world game is at your pace. You can sit down. Horizon, for example, I've recently finished. You can sit down, you can play through this world at your own pace. If you want to go dinosaur hunting or robotic, you do so. If you want to go farming, or if you want to go do side quests.
It gives you the ability to go through the different emotions.
Yes.
And have those different parts. So, like, I'll go back to Tony Hawk's. One of the good thing about Tony Hawk's Pro Skating is at those moments when I was feeling really pissed off and angry, I'd just slam him into the wall for a while, or make him do tricks and land them wrong so he'd splat across it.
Rocket Air, am I going to land you?
No, you're going down! And of course, because it was bone crunching and that lot, it was like, yeah. And you can place it so there are points when I imagined it was the person who left me, and sometimes I imagined it was me. And, you have that whole thing. But it's exactly like that. Open world games are great for that, because sometimes Grand Theft Auto, one of the things I love doing in Grand Theft Auto is driving properly.
What? Who drives properly in Grand Theft Auto?
It's one of the best things to do ever. Sometimes when you have that mood, you make sure you don't ever go through a red light. You're always driving properly. You stop at stop signs. Sometimes it just makes you feel good. And then sometimes you go on and you just drive on the pavements and watch people fly off the bonnet.
Have you seen that video, the meme video, or it's going around on Facebook? It's like, this guy thinks he's in GTA. And he like flies in front of his car, runs around, forces people out of the car, gets in the car, reverses, drives off over some hill, and just drives off road in a normal car. People are like, what's he doing? The tagline is, this guy thinks he's in GTA. Like, but yeah, no, I've great question, Chris, and I'm sorry that you come out of a
hopefully, as you said, he's getting over it.
But just getting through it. You said it's the first time you checked the digital only area. Mate, check it more often, because there are some
it's really good for that.
Really good games. Or just check our weekly release video, because we'd tell you what's coming out, and there's always something good to get into.
Yeah.
Okay, our last part is we have got some news about the website. The website Wookie Woody Gaming is going through a pretty big change. Content will stay the same. We're still sticking with indie games. However, we are not cutting ourselves off from PC. That doesn't mean I'm going, or say it doesn't mean that we're going. There's a few new people who have started writing for us who have gaming PCs. We are not going to go all out PC, but if a very good game is coming to PC before consoles, and we can get a chance to play it on PCs first, to let you know our thoughts and review of whether it would good come into consoles, then that's where we're going to go for now. So we're not excluding PC gaming. We are changing the name though. 2 reasons. First reason we're changing from Wookie Woody Gaming is because Wookie Woody Gaming was set up by myself as a personal blog. That was, I kind of wanted to see, 1, if I could write about video games, 2, if I could go anywhere with it. And it kind of ended up snowballing into a bit more, and I kind of like put more time into it. And it ended up becoming this, I hate to use the word enterprise, but it is effectively now an enterprise for me, the USS Enterprise. That I'm.
So who are you, Kirk Picard? That's what you've got to do.
But no, so it's ended up becoming this thing that I'm very passionate about, and I want to bring as much, or impart as much knowledge, or the opportunity that we're in to play games early is a very privileged position, but it's also a position that I don't take lightly in terms of your hard-earned cash. Is that game worth £15 or not? And that's what I see. And we still want to do that with the indie market. We're not going anywhere near AAA games. We're still sticking with indie, although we are slightly going towards the PC a little bit. So yeah, we're changing from personal blog because we want to sound like more of a professional publication, because that's what we want to bring readers. So we're going, and secondly, we just don't want to be caned with a copyright from Star Wars.
Yeah.
I changed the name of Wookie by removing an E. We've not had a copyright, just to clarify. We've not been told to change, but
Star Wars aren't after him.
If my hopes are that this grows and grows and grows and grows, and if it does grow and grow and grow and grow, then that's when it will start maybe get on Star Wars radar. And if they have any evidence that we've made revenue money through using that word Wookie, then we'll be in a world of trouble. So now's the best time while we are in the early stages of growing to change. So what are we going to be? I can hear people literally shouting at the radio now. What are you going to be called?
Who do you think's listening to this on the radio?
Could be on an A track. No?
They've gone really retro with their shit.
Some of the students I teach at school listen to us actually, and they are now sitting there going, "What the fuck is an A track?"
Yeah.
If you do, any of you that I do teach, go and ask your parents, what's an A track? Let's take the F word out because they don't want to know that teachers swear. Okay.
Oh my god, can you imagine that?
So, or if you are listening with parents, I apologise. So we're going to be called Indie-Credible, Indie-Credible, because we want to bring an incredible experience on indie games. And I just love a cheesy pun.
Yeah, that's the truth, man.
I'm
You
also
love cheesy
a massive fan of 80s, and you'll soon see when our artwork goes up. From
Oh
the
my
new
god,
logo,
you've got to see this.
the YouTube channel, cover, artwork, all that, it all goes live on the 1st of June. As of the 1st of June, we will be www.indie-credible.com. We'll be indie_credible on Twitter. If you're following us now, do not worry, that will just change over on the same Twitter account. Facebook, the same, it will just change over, but that'll be indie_credible. And the podcast is staying the same as Indie Credible. I want to personally thank everyone who does listen to this, or who's commented, or who watches the videos we put out on YouTube, or goes to the website, because it's helped us become to this position where we can change, because we are becoming a business and we're becoming a registered business. And it's just brilliant that you that people have helped provide that. So a massive thank you from me. And you can keep supporting us by just leaving a review. If it's on iTunes, if it finally fucking works on iTunes, leave a review. That'd be brilliant. Like, hasn't even a bad review. Any review on iTunes gets you up the rankings, good or bad. It gets you well noticed.
Preferably good though.
Yeah, preferably good. YouTube, just comment, share the video, or the podcast. That's one of the best things you can do. If you listen to it on the website, then again, thank you for coming. Tell your friends about it. We really love doing this, and we want to go further and bring more content to you. And if you are feeling flush and you really like what we do, then you can head over to Patreon, which will be changing to patreon.com/indie-credible. It will be changing to that, but that won't be until the 1st of June. That is enough of what I've said on Indie Credible. Dan, do you want to add anything?
No, I think you've got Indie Credible there.
So before we go down, where can these lovely listeners find you?
Find me. They can visit thedicebear.com
Yep.
or on Facebook and Twitter with the Dice Bear. It's all very simple. I've got the one thing. There's no hyphens. I couldn't handle the grammar.
I can be found on Twitter at WookieWoody, and the O's in Woody are spelt with zeros because I like making things awkward. And you can check out the site WookieWoodyGaming.com, or after the 1st of June, IndieCredible.com. Also, please comment on the artwork because I worked my ass off on it, and I fucking love the 80s. Okay,
80s are great.
80s are great.
Now let's go watch Baywatch.